Now, speaking of Halloween, I kind of pulled a hand grenade and threw it into the internet yesterday. Our little small corner of the internet, okay? We might be in the dark web, guys. You might be in the dark web right now. We have no idea, okay? I pulled a hand grenade and threw it into the horror community yesterday because Halloween 5, it's downstairs, okay. Halloween 5, the 4K came out, right, guys? And they released this this new footage. Daniel Skinner, I'll get to your after the Halloween talk. I'll get to that. Thoughts on OG Poltergeist and Omen. Okay, they released the new footage for the Dr. Death scene. You know, the legend of the Dr. Death scene that had been around forever. I think I heard about this scene way back. I think way back in like when they did like the all-inclusive documentary on the Halloween franchise that came out, Halloween 25 Years of Terror. That's where I first heard about the Dr. Death footage. So and then like I think 2 years ago or something like that, they showed a picture of a film reel that had the Dr. Death footage. And it was going to be finally released. We didn't know if they were actually going to put out an entire new version of the movie with this. And ultimately, they didn't. They just gave us the footage. But they gave us 1080p footage. And I don't have the guy's name in front of me right now. But I know there was a guy that was in charge of putting that footage together. And he even added like new audio sound effects, new Foley effects. And he got the scene up to snuff with the background score music. I mean, everything's there. And so, you know what? That's fine. If you don't want to give us the full version of the movie, it's one scene. So I wasn't butthurt when that came out. And I happen to be a guy who likes to make my own cuts of films. So I said I'm going to make my own cut of this movie. And so here we are. Last night, it hit me. I was like, I need to make this cut now. Right now, I need to make this cut. That's what I said to myself yesterday. That's why. Are you guys impulsive? Are you guys like it? Just a freaking thought? Are you guys like? I guess I'm like a cat. You know how a cat will be in one room and then all of a sudden he's like, I need to be in the fucking kitchen, and he just boom, just fly. I mean, he's literally like teleports. Like cats can teleport. All right. So I guess that's how my thoughts are. I teleport. I have a thought, and then I'm like, I need to do that now, like right now. Right, meow, which ties it back to cat. I had this thought, I need to make this cut right now, and so I grabbed my 4K that comes with the Blu-ray, and I ripped it and everything. And at first, I was just going to make a cut of just that scene. I was going to take out the hermit scene. I was going to throw in that scene. As I was going along, all these things started kind of popping in my head, like, ooh. I mean, it's my version of the movie. I can take things out if I want. Can I take things out if I want to? If I want to? Yes, I can do that. And so that's what I did. And I started thinking about all these scenes. And so basically, I ended up with a rather ambitious cut of Halloween 5 by the time I was done with it. And it's, guys, I can tell you right now, officially, it's done. I have finished the cut. I have sent the cut out to a few parties. Just to maybe get some opinions on it, you know. I guess this is the beta version of it. I could still make some minor tweaks here and there because there was, like, I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example of one tweak that I'm still roughly considering. Okay, the cops. I took the cops. Remember the opening scene, the Dobie, right? And he comes out and honk, wee-hoo, all that shit. I took that fucking scene right out. I found a trash can, and I flicked it like a booger, like right into a fucking trash can. Boom. Get the fuck out of my life, okay? I took that scene, and I sent it to the trash can for life. And then after that, I was sitting in my editing bay, and which is my couch. And by the end of the movie, there was another honk. It just kind of creeped up on me. It was like, honk. And I had already like had a rough finish of the cut. And I was watching it back. and there's a scene at the last act of the movie where they play the joke on the cops. I think I wanted to keep that particular. It's just one little honk, you know, because it's a good thing we're bad cops. He says that, you know, and the honk kind of fits with it. And I was like, wait, I'm not going to take that out because that's Halloween 5, you know? Halloween 5 is a weird movie out of the, it's like, it might be one of the most unique movies out of the Halloween franchise. And part of its charm is some of that stuff, you know, some of that weird stuff. So I just wanted to take, I guess I wanted to tone it down, and really it was more of a flow type thing. I wanted the flow of the movie to, I guess, be a lot more consistent, you know? I didn't want there to be like little roadblocks along the way, little speed bumps, like that first cop scene, you know, when that scene didn't really need to be there, and it was a little bit too much. So I took that out. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to leave this in because I don't want to completely neuter. I don't want it to not be Halloween 5, if that makes sense. I still want it to have that charm about it throughout. So I left a lot of stuff in the movie that's still going to remind you, oh yeah, this is Halloween 5, okay? I did not make Halloween 5 Halloween 6, you know? Halloween 5 is Halloween 5. So I just wanted to make a Dr. Death cut that has that scene in it. And I wanted to tighten some things up, omit some things. And as a matter of fact, I can show you, I'll show you guys the changes. Yeah, so this is pretty much what I did to the cut, okay? And I'm going to do a full video on this, all right? So I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I'm going to do a full video just breaking down all this stuff. It's going to be Halloween 5 Revisited, which will be my third revisited, or my second revisited, third review of Halloween 5. I don't go back and re-review a movie unless there's a damn good reason. The only 2 movies that I've ever reviewed 3 times are Halloween 6, and now it will be Halloween 5, okay? And that's because I have something new to say. My last revisited of Halloween 6 was basically me breaking down the Blue Myers cut. That's what it's called. I called it the Blue Myers cut. That thing's been around since before I started YouTube, I think. Or maybe like right when I started YouTube, I made that cut. And it's still floating around quite a bit, you know. People seem to like it. It's cool. If you like the theatrical version, that last act, then you'll like that cut. All right. But yeah, these are the changes that I made, you know, in the beta version. All right. Dr. Death scene included. Tone down Tina. Now that's a big red flag for a lot of you guys. Hold on, I love Tina. Tina's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I need more Tina in my life. Some of you might be thinking that. And there was a time when I hated Tina. I really did. I hated Tina for a time there. But then there was Tina's pretty much like, she's grown a cult following, you know. And as time went by, as I watched this movie over and over, I started kind of coming around to Tina. She is really kind of the spirit of Halloween 5. She is that weirdness, that quirkiness, that kind of like that left turn of what Halloween 5 is. Tina is a big part of that. So no, I didn't completely cut out as much. I didn't neuter Tina. It's like one scene that I wanted to edit just a little bit, you know? But she's still 100% Tina all the way, you know? Or I guess 99% Tina, okay? No opening cop whistles. Just the opening scene. The cops don't. I kind of like those cops. You know, like if I take them out of Halloween 5 and just kind of, you know, like those 2 dudes seem like they'd be fun to hang around with. Am I right, guys? Like those 2 dudes seem like they'd be really fun to hang around with. Whereas the cop scene in Halloween 2018, and it was a nice homage, but like that, like give me, which cop scene do you prefer? The cop scene from Halloween 5 or the cop scene from Halloween 2018? At least that one had some charm to it, Halloween 5. So the cops are still there. I just wanted to take out that first, you know, I wanted to make Halloween 5 a little bit more of a serious movie. You know, I wanted to keep the tone of the movie kind of straightforward. You know, get to the point. That's what I wanted to do. It's still an hour and 34 minutes, though, my cut. It's still an hour and 34 minutes. So you still get a full... But here's another thing, too. Bluer toned presentation. One thing I noticed about Halloween 5 was that it's a little brighter, a little shinier than Halloween 4 and 6. 4 and 6 have that blue color tone, kind of like Halloween 1. I wanted to maintain that. So I did some color grading on it, and I adjusted the color to make it more bluish in tone. Not like it's not going to leap blue out at you, okay? But the colors are a little bit more muted, and there's a little bit more of like an undercurrent of blue in it than before, you know? And it fits with 4 and 6, I think, much better this way, okay? 40-foot attacking Tukey parrot. Do any of you guys have a parrot I could borrow? I could actually like maybe record some footage and throw it in there, you know. Michael Myers. All right, Man in Black. Here's another question that you guys might have, okay, about the Man in Black. Did Lee cut out, because some people did say cut out the entire Man in Black. Fuck no. I am a Thorn trilogy nut. I probably love the Thorn trilogy more than most of you do. And a big reason for that is because of the Man in Black. I know that we resolved absolutely nothing with the character, but I still like him, okay? And there's like a Giallo aspect to the character. He looks like a Giallo killer. Some people say Halloween 5 is the Giallo movie of the bunch. It does, because Giallo movies too are a little bit, you know, left of center. There's kind of an off factor to them. There's something weird about them. Halloween 5 is the same way. So, but there's one scene in this movie with the Man in Black I didn't like, and it's the first scene. When him get with, I don't want to see the Man in Black in broad daylight getting off of a Greyhound bus and kicking a dog. Are you serious? That kind of throws the rhythm off, and it sucks all the mystery out of the character for me. You know, yeah, you're not showing his face, but still, he's getting off a Greyhound bus. He might as well go to freaking the Sizzler, like right across the street, and order a steak. Do you guys usually get a baked potato, or do you get like mashed potatoes? You know, because I'm kind of if the place has a really good baked potato, and I like to think that the Man in Black would be a baked potato guy. Yeah, he's going across the street, he's getting a baked potato, and they don't show his face, but who gives a shit, right? Because it's broad daylight. It's weird. It's weird. So I cut that out. So the first time you see the Man in Black is when you should see the Man in Black. He's in the Myers house when Loomis is walking around checking things out. It's starting to get dark, and then you see the first thing you see of him really is the Thorn tattoo. That's a cool intro for the character. That's what I want. That's what I wanted to see for the Man in Black. I didn't want to see him getting off of a Greyhound bus and going to play bingo. Okay? Yeah, fuck that. All right. Myers' face reveal. This was the most challenging scene for me to edit. Because I didn't want to, my personal opinion, okay? I think they handled the scene pretty well by, you know, the shadows and the darkness. If you got to show Myers' face, they did it a lot better than Rob Zombie did, okay? And he didn't have a beard that goes out, like, the beard goes 6 inches outside the bottom of the mask. I don't get... Why does every character in Rob Zombie's movies have to, even the women, have to have a beard down to their freaking kneecaps? I don't get that. That's just weird. You don't have to have every character with a freaking beard, especially Michael Myers. You know, I like to think Michael Myers, he shaves. Okay. Yeah. So the face reveal, I had to really work around that, and I'm explaining way too much of this, so I might end up having to just clip this out. But okay, well, you got to get that YouTube money, right? But but yeah. So yeah, you'll see when you see the version. I definitely had to work around that, but the scene is still there. The nice moment between Jamie and Myers is still there. Uncle, that's still there. But I cut away, and I had to actually put other footage in the way of existing footage to get rid of that, because I didn't want to see the mask fully come off. Okay? And some of you like that stuff. It could have looked a lot worse, you know, but I didn't want to see his face at all. I've had this thing, and I was actually going to do a video called Is the Mystery Gone? I was actually going to do a video about this particular topic because some of you older folks in there might relate to this. Myers in the 80s was different than Myers today. And there was something about him that was really, really, really mysterious and even scary. Okay? Like, he scared the shit out of me in the 80s. And that was part of the allure of him. You know, the obsession that I was like Loomis. I was obsessed with Myers in the 80s because when you did see his face, it wasn't quite right. It was never straight on. Like, even in the first movie, that's a creepy looking scene. You see the side of his face, his eyes kind of all jacked up because they got like the coat, you know, the coat hanger. And even his face looked scary to me. And even though it was like young and angelic looking, it still looked really kind of creepy to me. So going through 4, 5, and 6, they maintained that big time. Like 4, they never show his face. 5, what they did show was still kind of creepy. Okay? 6 might have been the scariest version of the character because they don't show his face. Now remember, there's a scene in the movie where Kara is in the final act. She's fighting with Myers. He's got her on the table, her hands up, and she grabs the mask. And I was in the theater when this scene was going on. And I remember everybody just like screaming at the top of their, oh my God, you know, as she had the mask and you thought that she was going to pull it off. And the crowd just started getting louder and louder and louder. And I was like, oh my God, don't take it off, you know, because we were scared to death of what was behind that mask. Now, I'm not scared. I mean, they could take his mask off in every third scene and it wouldn't really do anything. As much as I love these new movies, the mystery is gone. You know, as far the fear aspect of seeing Myers' face, completely gone. A little bit of creepiness there, but it's nothing. And I mean nothing like it was back in the 80s. Am I right on that, guys? And 90s, okay? That's one big kudos that I can give Mustafa Akkad, was that he always kept that mystery. And I'm positive behind the scenes that he probably said, don't show his face, and if you have to show his face, keep that mystery there, you know? Whereas now, it's like once the cat's out of the bag, then how do you get it back, you know? It's gone. Rob Zombie, Resurrection, even though they didn't show his face, I wasn't like scared to see what was behind the face in Resurrection just because the movie was so bad, so I can't fully blame Rob Zombie, but yeah, that mystery, you know? So I doctored that, no pun intended, that scene a little bit. Janitor chase. This one's something like, do you guys like the janitor chase? I just think it's pointless. It's a pointless scene. The music's kind of lazy and weak. Not since the first time I saw Halloween 5 opening night in the theater, the janitor chase always felt kind of like it's just there. There's no suspense in it. Like everything's kind of bled dry as far as suspense goes in that scene. And maybe that's because John Carpenter wasn't directing it. You know, maybe John Carpenter could make that scene more suspenseful, but it's just a lazy scene. The last thing about the Halloween 5 cut is Dancing on Midnight. That song was always like buried in remember the barn dance? The Tower Farm dance? Yeah. And the soundtrack to Halloween 5, you know, as far as like songs go, has always been interesting too, because they don't have, like, say, Creed, you know, or the song from, like, Halloween 6. You know, a little bit bigger level bands. I like that Halloween 5 had more independent-type music to it. And you had White Sister with Dancing on Midnight. And big shout-out to Christian Hanna, who told me about this band. And he's like, you realize they were actually in Halloween 5. Their song was in Halloween 5. And the band themselves and a song are in Killer Party. And so now every time I watch Halloween 5, that song really sticks out now when I watch it. I love that song, Dancing on Midnight. It's so freaking good. And I thought, you know what? A lot of these Halloween movies and horror movies in general, they have like a rock song in the credits. Usually, like, you know, first half of the credits is the score, and then the second half of credits, they kick in with like a rock song. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I like throw in Dancing on Midnight like halfway through the closing credits? And so I did that. So yeah, I can tell you the beta version is finished. I like the way it looks. I'm getting a few opinions to just, you know, I sent it out to a few people. Let me know if, Haley, I think you should definitely change it. You really screwed up on this. I think you need to change that. If I hear that, then I'll go back and I'll reassess. But I think the final version's out there now. So I'm gonna let the gate open for you guys to DM me, because that's how I did the Blue Myers cut. If you wanted a copy of the Blue Myers cut, then just DM me and I'll send you a link, okay, a download link. You know, all I ask is that you own at least a version of the said movie. So this, I would say, within maybe a week, you guys can start sending me DMs and I'll send you a copy of the Dr. Death cut. Some people have asked me now, how much do I have to pay for this? Nothing, because that's illegal. And even if it wasn't illegal, I would not charge you guys for this, okay? This is a labor of love. This is something that I wanted to give back to the community. We've always wanted a Dr. Death cut, so I thought, you know what, fuck it, I'll do it. And I made a Dr. Death cut, all right? So if you guys want a copy of that, don't DM me now. I'd say give it about a week, then DM me, and I will happily give it to you for free, okay? I don't like using the word Patreon because I don't like trying to get beg people for money, okay? But if you go to the Patreon page, there's a nice link over there, okay? So